Hello, Cancer. Happy Friday. You have Ten of Swords. This is an ending to a cycle and a beginning of a new cycle in regards to your thinking. Hold on a sec. There was something else I flashed on with it. Let me look at the book. Oh, yeah, it can also be, imbalanced thoughts that were breaking your soul, okay? So you are ending that. Any sort of loss, crisis, or defeat that you were worried about, you're ending that. You've got Nine of Swords. Swords are about thoughts. You're all up in your head today. You've got Nine of Swords. This is your fears and your anxieties, even nightmares. But you see most of them are behind the cat, so most of them are in the past. Other decks, there's a person sleeping in a bed, and the Nine of Swords are sort of ghosting around them, or they're behind the bed, hanging up on the wall. And that symbolizes that a lot of the fears and anxieties are to do with past situations that you're bringing into the present situation. Most of them aren't to do with the here and now. There's only one log, one sword in front of this cat. So there's only actually one fear and anxiety that is current, and the past ones are playing into this current one because you haven't dealt with them in the past. You haven't learned from them and put them in their place. So they're kind of feeding into the current fear and anxiety that you have. And there's this Two of Swords, being at a crossroads, figuring out which path to take, feeling like you might be blindfolded by your passions or blindfolded by these fears and anxieties that you're having, and maybe you feel like they're taking your head off because you're so anxious, you're so afraid, and you're choosing the path that brings you peace, the path that brings you stability, and that ability to balance in a healthy way your emotions, that ability to balance the fears and anxieties with what the reality actually is that's going on in the present day in your life. So you're looking for that stability, and you're looking for that path, and you're going to find it. You're ending this cycle of being overly afraid and overly anxious. Justice is talking about balance. It does talk about justice, yes, but it is talking about a balance here, a balance in your actions, a balance between, sometimes between being too obsessive, like perfectionism, and being too openly accepting, like gullibility. So trying to find that sort of balance between two different extremes. And Ten of Cups is talking about your emotional satisfaction. It's talking about the happy home life. You're ending one cycle, beginning another one that's leading you towards this emotional satisfaction and this happy home life. And the Six of Pentacles, this is another card of balance. It talks about, sometimes it talks about greed and debt, even like somebody giving one-sided charity because they're trying to appear to be good. They're not actually giving the charity because they believe in helping people, or they want to help the person. They're just doing it for the appearance's sake. It can also talk about rejecting an offer of money or assistance out of pride, or feeling like you haven't been given all that you deserve. So when you're looking at this imbalance, really be careful of any sort of pride. I would say you might even be rejecting an offer because an offer of assistance because of your fears and your anxieties. Not just pride, but that fear and anxiety of whatever your fears and anxieties were about your stability. You might have rejected help. Then we had a bunch of cards come out together. King of Swords, Seven of Swords, the Emperor, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so King of Swords talks about observing what's going on and then making a decision towards taking action, and action that takes control of your life. That's a leadership action. That's a disciplinary action. Either, punishing somebody or punishing yourself, or a disciplinary action in terms of setting up goals, setting up routines, setting up rules that are going to help you achieve what it is you want to achieve. So this King of Swords really looks at what's going on in a deep manner, and he observes it, and then he plans the action. Seven of Swords can talk about planning action too, planning strategically to get away from people or situations that are not good for you, where there's somebody who is dishonest, somebody who is pretending to be something they're not. Usually in the workplace, somebody who, Seven of Swords also can talk about somebody who's stealing, hacking, gossiping, slandering your good name or somebody else's good name. Any sort of bad situation where it's not as it seemed it was. This is Seven of Swords, and it can talk about that planning to get out of that situation. The Emperor talks about almost the same thing the King of Swords is talking about, because it's talking about taking action to calm. And Knight of Swords is also talking about taking action to calm any sort of chaos, any sort of situation with the fears and the anxieties in the Seven of Swords, where something is not going as planned, something is not right. The Emperor, this talks about setting up routines, talks about setting up habits, setting up alarm systems, any sort of thing that you need to, in order to get a better grip on the situation, in order to get away from fears, anxieties, or anything in this situation that is going to harm you. The Emperor is talking about taking that action once you've observed what's going on. This Knight of Swords also, it's about, fast thinking, fast action, transforming your thinking in order to take that action forwards, and really looking at swords can also talk about financial situation. So really looking at that financial situation, and once you've figured out what it is you need to do, then moving in that direction, taking action so that you can have this more balanced, and you can have this new beginning that leads you towards this satisfaction, this happy home life, this emotional balance, and away from any sort of imbalances, or any sort of legal entanglements that you might have accidentally gotten into because of the Seven of Swords person or situation. Okay? So don't be afraid to accept help. Don't be too anxious about accepting help, or too prideful about it. Okay, with that Six of Wands in reverse, you might need help getting out of this situation. Have a great Friday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.